Yo, what up, guys? Just recently got my inspired Overland rooftop tent in and wanted to do a thorough walk around video basically on, workmanship, quality of materials, etc. I know there's a lot of interest on this particular unit, but before I bought mine, I was looking around and I found it kind of tough to find content on it. A lot of the videos that I saw seem to be backed by the company themselves. So, me being kind of suspicious, I don't know if I could 100% believe those videos. Even the YouTubers that have gotten them, it seems like they were kind of sponsored or even given a discount in exchange for a good video. So me being a retail buyer, I did buy this on sale. Just 2 weeks ago, they had a sale for, it knocked it down to $999. I think with shipping and tax and everything, I paid just short of $1,100. I think it was like $1,078. But anyway, I waited about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it finally arrived to my warehouse and just got off work. So I've pulled it out of the box and, just going through it for the first time. I did set it up already, and I spent about, 20, 30 minutes in there just kind of laying and, looking around and kind of visualizing. But there are a couple things that caught my eye that I wanted to share with you guys. Nothing major, but there are some, improvements that they can make in terms of the build quality. And you'll see that. But yeah, I mean, if you want the short, cut and dry, I think it's a good investment, especially for what I paid. I paid $1,000 for it. There's no beating that price. Even at $1,500, I would be satisfied. Okay, but I want to take you guys kind of through the unit. I'm going to go basically corner for corner and just point out some of the things that caught my eye. And again, I'm not too prissy. I don't need, the aesthetics to be perfect. I intend on using this unit and actually going out and, putting it to the test. It's not to be put on to a showroom truck, so to speak. So come along and I'll show you, all the different defects and different things that I'd like to see them do better. Okay, so the very first thing that caught my eye when I received the unit was the screen printing. If you look closely here, you'll see that some of the paint or ink or whatever that they're using kind of bled over onto the screen where it shouldn't have. So as a result, you get these kind of random dots scattered throughout the logo, which to me is the smallest issue. But something that did catch my eye, like even here, right on the letters, kind of bled over. So they could definitely use some work on their screen printing. Anyone who's, crazy about aesthetics, that might bug them. But for me, I quickly overlooked that. But the next thing that caught my eye was kind of the wrinkling in the material of the Tonto cover. If you look closely there on the sides, you'll see it's kind of wavy, right? That actually is kind of around a better part of the entire unit, if you look closely. So I'm hoping that once I mount it up onto my truck and it gets into the sun, I'm hoping it'll loosen it up, and then at night it'll contract, and, a couple cycles of that, it might tighten up. So that's what I'm hoping for there. Beyond that, I guess the only other thing was the stitching. Some of the ends of the stitches are kind of, definitely need some work. I could see them over time unraveling. These ones are good. I think it was this corner here. So this one is kind of, it's not tied off or burnt off completely. So it just feels like a loose piece of string. It's possible that that starts to unravel, but yeah, other than that, everything seems to look good on the top. Okay, so heading over to the zipper, if you saw any of the videos on this particular tent, you saw the owner of this company going crazy about the zipper. You know, Y2K, Japanese, zipper, top of the line, this, that, and the third. Having unzipped it, I mean, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times. To me, it feels like a regular zipper. Maybe over time, you know, the durability of this zipper is gonna kind of prove me wrong, but to me it just feels like a normal zipper. So I don't know why he calls that out as a product feature, you know. To me, like, the number one unique selling point about this tent is how quickly it deploys. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you that right now. Obviously I'm filming right now, so I only got one hand, but it is a little bit quicker it being on the floor, but not by much, you know. As long as you can reach it, the zipper, it should more or less be about this length of time to get it undone. So just walking around your truck, basically, right? You guys have seen this a million times, but the zipper, yeah, I don't know why he calls that out all the time, but boom, we're ready to camp. So that is why I bought this unit, was just how quickly it deploys, and you know, the tear down as well as equally as quick. So let's go ahead and hop inside the tent and show you a couple things. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's review the outside first. Okay, so the first thing that you know, I noticed when I received the tent was how wrinkly the outside of the fabric is. That, you know, is to be expected, I guess I should say. But one thing that I realized was it's not exactly all wrinkles. Let me take this little clothesline off. This thing's pretty important because when you go to close it, it'll cinch all the fabric tight. So really like that feature. This little stretch cord. But if you look closely here, not all of it is actually wrinkles. It seems almost like the locations in which they screwed the fabric into the frame could have been slightly adjusted to pull that, you know, tension, that loose tension out of the fabric. So that's one thing that I want to say is annoying, but it should be nice and tight, right? Maybe over time it'll tighten up, but to me, again, kind of their stitching could use some work. So that's one thing that stood out to me. The next thing that stood out to me was these little roll-up bags for your shoes. If you roll them tight, like you would want to, right? Because you want to keep it all cinched up in here, so when you go to zip up, it's all tied to the frame nice and tight. Look how much extra space is in this little buckle loop, and it's not adjustable. So you roll it as tight as you want, but it's going to ultimately roll out into the width of this huge loop. So they should definitely cut that down, probably about half its size, really. Same thing on that side. Another thing, the ladder mount is directly where this hangs over. So to me, like, you have this dead space here. Why is this not stitched over? Like, you know, to fit perfectly here. I don't know. That's just a nitpicky thing, but But it is something that they can improve upon. It looks like this is actually adjustable, so maybe they didn't mount it exactly where it should be. I'll need to pull out the ladder and see kind of what the width of that bar is to see if that's you know, just a quality issue or if it actually needs to be that wide. But panning over to this side, you'll see the same thing again, right? With the fabric. Why is it so loose, right? So because there's no like structural support that pushes it out this way, these go up, right, for the wind, but it's not intended to pull the slack out of the fabric. I'll pull this out in a second. But yeah, when I put those up, you'll see it doesn't correct that. So that's a little annoying. Going down to the rain flies here, once these are actually zipped up, they're not long enough to go over the tonneau cover. So it always falls inside this tonneau cover. So if it's raining, right, it'll rain, you get the side rain, hits here, rolls down into the frame of your tent. What the hell is that, right? Like, why wouldn't it be over like that? So this little flap should be about twice or triple the length to accommodate that. So that's a little frustrating. I hope I don't get caught in some rain. But yeah, beyond that, those are the only things that caught my eye. I do live in California, so that's one thing going for me. We've been in a drought for the last 30 years. But yeah, fabric could use some tightening. The buckles down here could be shortened. These could be relocated, or the bags themselves kind of pushed over to the perimeter there. And the rain fly should be double or triple the length. I guess I'll throw this in here as well. You'll see that this one kind of lays flat when it's velcroed on, right? This is actually kind of cool. It's got a little bar to keep it open. So it's nice and vented in there. I actually really like that feature. But over on this side, when you try to Velcro it to the base, it doesn't lay flat like the other one. This little plastic trim that they put inside of here is slightly too long, probably 2 centimeters too long, which causes it to bow out even when cinched up like that. Not the biggest issue, but yeah, same thing in the front here. So these little bars that they put inside here, slightly too long. Okay, so I've got the little structural supports installed right now. They actually do a really good job on keeping this thing sturdy. I mean, there's no wind in the nation that will bring this thing down. And, you know, even snowfall, I could see it withstanding probably 4 inches of snow, no problem, with these things installed. So I really like that feature there. But again, just kind of going back to the fabric, it's still wrinkled. It doesn't really fix that problem, right? So I do feel like those mounting points could have been improved. And you'll see actually down here that everything's zipped up and cinched tight, you know, so it's not loose because of that. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop inside. All right, so jumping inside of the tent, you actually got quite a bit of space. I'm 6 foot exactly, and with my head laying down on that side and my feet laying over here, I could lay exactly straight with basically touching both sides of the tent. That's obviously the opposite of what you'd like to sleep, right? Because you want your head over here so you have all the head space and feet over there. But me at 6 foot, my feet are actually too tall and hit the tent over there. So I actually have to sleep kind of cockeyed to the side there, which for me is fine because I'm single. But, if you guys are 6 foot or over 6 foot and you guys are looking to, sleep with your chick or your kids or dog or whoever, this may not be the tent for you. I've laid out a tape measure in here, and it looks like you got 74 inches exactly, kind of wall to wall, maybe another inch, 75 wall to wall. So that's one thing to note. Leading over to these little storage bins, I gotta be honest, those are probably pretty worthless. Once you put some weight on it, right, it's gonna start infringing on your living space in here. So I don't know, maybe some Band-Aids and tissues and just your phone at night or whatever. But for me, I don't see myself using that. So that'll probably be one of the first things I rip out. This one is kind of out of the way, up along the wall, so I'll probably keep that. But kind of same thing, right? You put weight on it and it starts to stretch down. I wish they didn't have the stretchy cord on there. If they just had like some sort of paracord, like a rigid cord on there, I think it would work a lot better. Leading to the kind of workmanship, this window here seems to be good. They've kind of welded the fabric together. Everything's clean cut, looking good. But then over on this side, you'll see that there's some rough cuts along the window. And all these things that I'm pointing out, I mean, to be honest, I don't care about any of them. I'm just really pointing them out for you guys. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm highly satisfied and would be willing to pay the $1,500, $500 more than what I actually paid for this. So I work in operations and supply chain, so it's my nature to kind of see what can be improved upon. But yeah, there's about 75 inches of living space straight that way. I guess let's get a measurement this way. It's about straight. About 48 inches inside. So that's good for me. And one thing I thought I'd never mention is this is a really high quality mosquito net. I don't know that I've ever had a product that has that good feeling of a mosquito net. So I will praise them on that. Freaking Japanese zippers. I will say they do kind of glide pretty good, but I don't know why he's so crazy about the zippers. But I guess leading over to here, you'll see kind of some more rough cuts. And actually even the welding material that they use, the adhesive, starting to peel up a little bit. So I might apply some heat on there, see if I can melt it, kind of lay it back down. But yeah, let's go ahead and install the little rain fly and see how that looks. Okay, so this is the rain fly deployed. I will say that this is my only true criticism about this tent. The only pet peeve that I have, is like, what in the hell is that? Why is it so loose? In terms of watershed, it probably works fairly well, to be honest. I mean, and I am more of a function over fashion type of guy, but the water will probably channel to the middle and roll off quite well. But just in terms of aesthetic, it could have been a lot tighter, right? And just look real streamlined and just not janky like that. I'm gonna take probably a steamer to this entire unit, and try to iron it out, literally. But another fix that I saw is people drilling a 45-degree hole there to try to keep these rods kind of cockeyed to the edges here. Same thing on that side, and it'll tighten it up a lot, and it does look a lot better. So that's going to be one of the first quote-unquote mods that I do. But I'm going to go ahead and close this thing up, and then I'm going to flip it over, and let's take a look at the construction of the bottom. All right, now that I have it flipped over, I just went ahead and took some dimensions. Lengthwise, I got 81 inches. And then width-wise, we're looking at just shy of 49, about 49 3/4. So those are the dimensions, basically wall to wall. I suppose I can get these here. From crossbeam to crossbeam, you're looking at just under, basically 33 1/4. Okay, these cross beams, it's kind of hard to do this one-handed. Are about 60 inches, okay, long. So those are dimensions in terms of mounting. Now let's look at quality, build quality. Fabric, you got a little loose end there. A rough cut of fabric that is not under the trim. It's a little bit too long. All the screws and everything look good. Looks like they're using some adhesive. It's like a glue actually, which is weird. I can press and form it. I don't know how strong that is. I mean, the thing itself is really strong, I'll tell you. You'll have no problem driving at highway speeds with this without it coming off. But I'm just kind of looking each individual component, right? But this base plate is plastic. And I got to tell you, it does have some give to it, which I'm wondering if that's why the mattress is so comfortable, is because this flex in the base plate actually gives some, comfort, a level of comfort there. So I don't know if that's intentional or not. If it is, that's, I think, pretty smart of them. But in terms of quality, how long it's going to last, I see a lot of them coming out with aluminum bottoms. So I would have liked to seen that. But for the price point, I mean, again, can't complain. And I am highly satisfied with this. Just kind of pointing out little things. Moving over to this side, you'll see the trim a little bit is slightly bent up. Not a problem. Overlap of fabric and just screwed down. I'd like to see them improve that actually. Maybe stitched all the way until it's, these holes, I'm wondering if these are drains, because I don't know if you remember, but those rain flies that I told you were short, they go inside the tonneau cover. Now, I don't know if there's any angle in here to try to, have gravity force feed water out as a drain. If those are what that is, I like that. And I take back my comment on the rain flies. But I don't know. I didn't get like any instructions with this thing. It's pretty self-explanatory. I really don't need any, but I'd like to see kind of a informational sheet. These are 100% of all the features that we offer, because sometimes, you buy something and 6 months in, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know it had that. So it'd be nice to see a product sheet. Some scuff here from, I think, the carrier. That's something I overlooked. Again, I don't really care about any of that stuff. These cross members seem to be just screwed in at each point, and I think this base plate is then screwed into this cross member. Not much to call out here, though. I mean, I suppose I got to get a width, a thickness measurement, don't I? So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll just end it there. Oh, so at a measurement, thickness-wise, I'm looking 5 inches, maybe 5 1/4, depending on what angle you're looking at. But, I mean, you might be able to cinch this down a little bit to where it compresses that extra inch. But to me, it's not the biggest issue. But at any rate, I'll go ahead and put out another video once I get it installed. And then later, I intend on cutting this bottom out and mounting it to my camper shell. So I'll go ahead and put another video out once I have my budget Go Fast camper all installed as well. I don't know how long it'll take, but if you guys are interested in that, go ahead and click on my channel and subscribe, and I will eventually put out the video here within probably the next 4 months or so. So yeah, stay tuned.